guys, Eli here. One of the most common questions that I get asked on any of my TikTok content or here on YouTube is, will you look at my work? A lot of people say, hey, like I've been trying to do this for a while. It's not really going the way I want. I haven't really been able to get any clients. And like, will you look at my work and just make sure I'm doing things right? And I get why people ask that, but it illustrates a really important point. That is, people really think, especially those that are just getting started in this business, that their product is what's holding them back, like the quality of their work or whether it's good enough. They think that aspect of their business is holding them back, and it almost never is the case. I've had the chance to coach a lot of photographers now, both one-on-one and through my course, to the tune of thousands, and like it is very rare that we ever see someone's product holding them back. Most of the time, the vast majority of time, it's just their willingness and their execution when it comes to actually going out and finding and getting clients. So in this video, I wanted to break that down a little bit, talk about where I think your focus should be, especially as a newer photo business owner, and where you'll actually see results in your business. Because if you've been in the photo industry for any time, or even if you haven't, you know that photographers are not generally known as the most wealthy people. And I think that's kind of sad, because I think in today's world, I'm filming this on a smartphone. Your content, the content you're seeing all day long, is filmed by a photographer, a videographer, made by a graphic designer. So there's so much potential for people who are in this field to make great money doing it. And so it's sad when the vast majority don't. And I think there's a little bit of a stereotype that people perpetuate in themselves. They sort of buy into the fact that photographers can't be rich. That's not what I'm talking about today. But generally, we see that most photographers don't do very well. And I think there's a couple key reasons for that. So that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Number one is the point that I already illustrated a little bit, which is photographers tend to think that their product is what makes or breaks their success as a photographer. They think like if their photos were really great, they would be doing better. And that's sometimes the case. Not usually in real estate photography, not usually in general, but it is sometimes the case. That being said, some of the most talented photographers in the world and some of the most talented photographers I know are the most broke. And on the other hand of things, like the people who get what I'm about to tell you, usually are not the best photographers, but they do very well financially. And so I kind of want to explain why there's two different ways that things can go. And hopefully that will give you some insight on how you fit in and how you can grow your business. And the disclaimer here is that if you don't want to make money as a photographer, that's totally fine. There's not a right way to do things. This video and the content I put out, because that's what I wanted to do, is for those photographers who are trying to make as much money as possible with their photography business and want to scale it. And quick backstory if you're new here. My name's Eli Jones. I own a photography business called Norman & Young. We shoot only real estate, and I've been able to scale that business over the last 8 years from knowing nothing about real estate, nothing about photography, to the point where I don't run my business at all anymore. I just oversee occasionally kind of on the financial side of the business, but I've scaled everything. I have shooters who do all of the shooting for me, editors, I have an admin team, and a great guy named Jared who runs the business for me. And so I've been able to step completely away from my business. And last month, in April of 2022, my business generated $27,000 in profit, again, without me having to do anything. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because there's so much potential in photography if you're looking at things as a business owner, and that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. And keep in mind that that $27,000 number took a lot of bad months to get there, and it was not a linear path. So if you've been doing this for a while and you're struggling, don't worry, that's part of the process. Last month we did 70-something thousand revenue and $27,000 in profit. So you obviously have to build a big business to do that, but it's totally possible, and that's what this video is to help you start achieving. And so going straight to the point, what separates a photographer that's doing well from one that's not? Well, generally what we've seen is that the photographers that do the best focus very little effort on their actual product. So when it comes to your business, there's like two main sides of your business, right? There's the product that you create, the photos, the videos, whatever it is. There's the product, and then there's the business side of it, which is how you create that product, how you deliver that product, how you market that product, how you get that product into the hands of the people who bought it. That side of your business is by far the most important part of your business, and that's the thing that actually generates results. It's not your product. And so tactically, when you're first getting started, I recommend that you should spend no more than 10% of your time on figuring out how to actually shoot and edit. You should definitely outsource the editing, but no more than 10% of the time on the product, and you should be spending 90% of the time on finding clients, at least with real estate photography. Because here's the thing to think about, and a question to ask yourself. If every single real estate agent, and we're not even talking about your product here, but if every single real estate agent in your city or your town or community or wherever you are knew you, liked you, and trusted you, do you think you would have a lot of business? And obviously the answer is yes here. It's kind of a trick question in the sense that it's so obvious. Yes. And so if you know that and if you believe that, why do you spend so much time on the product quality side of it instead of going and getting your name out there? And that right there is the biggest thing that we've seen separate photographers who do really well from those who don't, is they understand that product quality, once it's at a certain point, makes zero difference. Like once you got at a certain point, no more time is needed, and all of your time should be spent on going out and actually finding clients. And I think, one thing photographers tend to do, at least from our experience, is it's not even that they even believe that product quality is so important. They just have a false belief and they tell themselves, like, hey, I need to work on my product quality. I need to get that up. I need to do that. And that's really just an excuse because they're scared to go out and actually try to find those clients. Because just like anything in life, when you go out and you try to make something happen, you'll face defeat, you'll face rejection, you'll face a bunch of things that challenge you. And a lot of people think of that negatively, but it really is the measure of growth, right? Like if you're not being challenged, if you're not scared, if you're not facing rejection, you're probably not doing anything worthwhile. So what I encourage you, based upon what we've talked about at this point in the video, is understand very, very clearly and be clear with yourself about this, because that's going to impact whether this video helps you or not, that product quality does not matter once you get it good enough. And good enough, you're probably already there. And so I highly encourage you to look at the other side of your business. When I was growing my business, fortunately, I'm not someone who got into this as like an artistic photographer. So I was lucky enough to come into this from a business standpoint. So I naturally did that. I spent not very much time on my product quality, maybe even less than I should have, which is strange coming from me because I don't believe you should spend much time at all. And I spent so much time actually trying to find clients, trying to meet real estate agents, trying to do whatever it took to find those clients. So that's what I'd encourage you. If you're still watching at this point in this video, it's probably something that struck you and probably is resonating with you. And I encourage you to make it a point and somehow build it in your schedule and put yourself in a position where you'll remember that that is the truth. And here's one thing that really it was inspiring to me when I was first starting, is if you think about it, every real estate agent client you get just adds to your income. So let's say it's $500 a month, which, for a good client is pretty straightforward. That's probably what it's going to be. So every time you go out and find a client, you boosted your income immediately by $500 a month. If you knew that was the case, how much time would you spend getting clients? A lot, right? At least I would, because I'm like, oh, I can stack that. And that's what allowed me to build my business to the point where last month I was able to do that 27K without working in the business, because I focused on finding those clients. And I knew that every client I stacked brought me more money. Maybe it's $50 a month for some clients. Maybe it's $200 a month. But either way, once I got those clients, they stayed. They kept sending me that $50, $100, $200, $500, $1,000 a month. We even have some clients who pay us over $5,000 a month. They kept sending that. And then I would just go out and find more clients. So every time I found a client, it stacked on and just continued to increase the revenue of my photo business and the company's success. So to sum this up so far, which I feel like I've done a couple times already, but I'm really trying to hammer the point home. The most important thing that you can do is stop focusing on the product side of your business. It is a massive trap. Photographers waste so much time. And like I said, some of the most talented photographers are the most broke. And so I'll leave you with this thought, which is something that struck me. And this is not political in any way. It's just a saying. If you want to be part of the 1% of photographers that make more than $100,000 a year, it's somewhere around there, as 1% make about that much in the photography world, you have to do what the other 99% won't do. And so if you ask yourself honestly, like, what do most photographers do? Well, they spend a whole lot of time focusing on the quality of their photos and what gear they get and what native ISO I should be shooting at to reduce the most possible noise, get the least noise. Like all of those arguments and all of that time is very ill spent if you're trying to build a business that makes profit. So think about that. If you're trying to be one of the 1% of photographers that makes more than $100,000 a year, you by definition have to do something different than 99 out of 100 other photographers, because they did it and they didn't get the result, right? They're part of that group that's not doing that. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. And I hope this encourages you to make a point to focus on clients. Stop worrying about lenses, stop worrying about gear, stop worrying about all that other stuff, and focus on actually growing your business. Because ultimately, at least most of us in the real estate photography niche side of things, we don't shoot real estate because we love the art of real estate photos. There's just not a whole lot of art involved. So don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that's the reason you got it. It's totally awesome to do something you love for a living. And you can absolutely do that as a real estate photographer. But you more than likely got in this to make money. And so I would encourage you to focus on that part of your business, those things that will actually make you money, which clients are the only thing. Tactically, you know what we teach probably at this point. Create an Instagram account for your real estate photography business. search hashtags like DFW Homes if you're in Dallas Fort Worth, because realtors are going to use that hashtag. Follow as many realtors as you can find, engage with them, start to build a relationship. Like I talked about in the start of the video, if all of them knew, like, and trusted you, you'd have a ton of business. So first thing they have to do, they have to know you. And the only way they're going to know you is if you start engaging, you follow them, you comment on their post, that sort of thing. Then they'll start to like you maybe over time if you resonate with them. And then once they like you and maybe have the chance to work with you because you offered them a free shoot, which is kind of next in the process, then they'll start to trust you. And that right there is when you have got a client. And as long as you serve them well, they're going to keep paying you every month. So go out there, do what you need to do to actually find clients. Stop wasting time on stuff that doesn't matter. I hope you got a ton of value out of this video. As always, if you have any questions, comment below. And make sure if you're not yet subscribed to subscribe. I want to make a point here at this time of the year to spend some more time on YouTube videos. So I'm putting out a lot of TikTok content. So if you don't follow me there, definitely do that. But I'm also going to be doing that here on YouTube. And as always, I answer every comment. So comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.